So today I'm really excited to show you a new technique, a new method to use your Cricut and your embroidery, your Futura machine. And I'm so excited. One of my friends, Faye, asked me for a solution to her problem, and she wanted to cut out letters or images with her Cricut, and she wanted to turn them into applique embroideries. And it sounds simple, and it is once you know how, but figuring it out took a little bit of trial and error, and I figured out a way that I think will work for you, and I'm really excited to show you. So today I have my Cricut machine and my Hello Kitty fonts cartridge, and I absolutely love this cartridge, but you don't need this specific one. You really just need any Cricut cartridge that has a font alphabet and then has the option to create a shadow around your cutout font. And that might not make sense now, but I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. I'm just going to step over to my Cricut, and my size is set at 4 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and load my mat, and unload it, and make sure it goes in all nice and everywhere. Alright, so I'm just going to scroll over, hit the round shadow, and Shift, and the A, because the first one you want to cut out is the round shadow, and just press cut. Alright, and I'm just going to scroll down, and when you're doing this you want to make sure and have two totally different colored pieces of paper. So blue and yellow is really good, anything that has a lot of contrast. And I'm just going to turn off my round shadow and turn on my round feature, hit Shift again because I still want the uppercase A, and hit A, and wait till it pops up, and press cut. Alright, now one last thing you need to do. You need to go ahead, and especially for an A which has a little inside piece, you need to go and change your size down. And for me, using the 4 inches, I thought going down to 1 inch is good. But if you have anything like an E or a G or an O, something that has an open space, you need to make sure and cut out a smaller piece so you can layer in and give yourself the right kind of embroidery. So go ahead and press cut, and you'll see what I mean when I put this. Oh, make sure you press the A. Yep. And you have to make sure and hit Shift so you cut the uppercase A. And that little piece of yellow is all you need. So I'm going to go ahead and press unload paper. I'm just going to grab my A that I already had cut out. And what you're going to do is just put all these pieces together. So take off your A, and to save time I've already done that, but then just to show you, just going to go ahead and layer. These new Cricut mats are very sticky. I think I'll just show you the one I already have done. But you put together your A, and you make sure and you put that little piece from the 1 inch right in the middle of an A, or if you had an O, you'd put your little circle right in the middle of the O part. And this is so when you do the embroidery, this inner part of the A doesn't become one big satin stitch, because it wouldn't be right. So this way you create a border of stitches, and it'll make a little bit more sense when you see the embroidery come to life. But right now what I'm going to do is put away my Cricut and get out my embroidery machine and my computer and show you just how to turn a Cricut cutout like this into an applique. And I'll be right back. What I've already done is hoop some fabric, and I have my applique fabric, and it's just a scrap, as you can see, you know, just a little piece of leftover fabric I had. And I also have something, and these are special. These are duckbill applique scissors, and so nice when you're doing applique. But what I'm going to do is just go over here and put all these things. Oh, and one more thing, I also have some temporary spray adhesive made specifically for sewing, and this is made by a company called Dritz, and it's perfect for sewing applications. It won't get any residue on your needle, and you'll be all good to go when you're sewing. So what I'm going to do is just step over to my computer and go into Autopunch, and I've already loaded my Futura program. I'm just going to go in and select next, and I already have my A. It's the last thing I was working on, so it's the first thing that popped up. So I'm just going to go ahead and select next, because that's the image I want. And next, and here's where you can set your size, and I always like to go into inches, but 3.9 inches, because I cut a 4 inch cutout, sounds pretty good to me. Now you could resize here if you wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and click next, and here is where you want to make sure you suggest colors, and see how many colors this breaks it into. 3 colors, and this is why you had the colors that had a lot of contrast. You wouldn't want to accidentally mix up any of the blue with the red. And white, I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I'll just leave it there and look what's going on in the next screen. So this is where you're going to go ahead and move your arrow from narrow to wide right around in the middle, because you definitely want to make sure you have a satin stitch here, not a fill stitch. Simplifying image, turning it into an embroidery, and here is where you're going to go ahead and remove the inner cutout. So any of the red, or it would have been the yellow, the one that I cut out, you're just going to go ahead and remove those, because this is going to be your applique fabric. And go ahead and click, since you want those to stitch out. Now just go ahead and click each of these blocks and make sure it says column on it, because if it says fill, it's not going to do it right. And go ahead and select the first block again, and here is something you might never have done before. Go down into this box and click fill underlay, and also edge walk underlay, and make sure you do that for this one as well. Fill underlay and edge walk underlay, and then go ahead and click next, and use a jump stitch. Go ahead, click finish. Now the fill underlay and the edge underlay is going to stabilize all this area that is going to be covered with a satin stitch, and it's also going to enable you to be able to create your applique. So right now what I'm going to do is bring up the send block, and I'm going to send it right over to my machine. I'm going to walk over here and put in my hoop. Raise your presser foot. Grab your little screwdriver. Tighten everything nice. Make sure you have a good bobbin in here. So what I'm going to do now is just take my applique fabric, and I'm going to take some of the spray adhesive, and just on the corner, because I've already tested this out and I know about what size fabric I need, so I'm just going to spray a little bit right there, and I already know where this is going to go, so I'm just going to place it right under that area in the machine. And this is going to hold it in place perfectly for me. Make sure it's all smooth and no air bubbles or anything like that. And just go ahead and press start, and you'll see what those extra options we selected will do. Oh, make sure you have lowered your presser foot, otherwise the machine will beep at you. Now this is the edge underlay, and it's going to outline the embroidery for us. Alright, so what I've done now is I've stopped the machine because I see that it has gone ahead and stitched out the entire perimeter of the embroidery. And it's going to go around one more time just to extra secure it. But before it does that, I want to go ahead and remove the excess fabric with my duckbill applique scissors. And so nice to have these. So all you do is just go in from the edge and find yourself something to hold on to. And what you do is you pick up your fabric and let the scissors just do the rest. Maybe this will show you a little bit better. See how close you can get to the edge of the fabric with these duckbill applique. And it's so nice. So what you do is you just go ahead and cut around the entire design. I'm going to do that right now. Alright, and for this area right here, because I couldn't get to it, I know the machine's going to go ahead and stitch around the border a little bit more, so I'll just let it go past, stop it, and then I'll go ahead and finish trimming. Alright, remove any threads as well. So now what you're going to see is it's going to go ahead and finish going around the design, and it's also going to re-support this design with stitches, and you'll see that in a second before it goes and fills with satin stitches. And so what I'm going to do now is just let the embroidery finish, and I'm going to let you watch it come to life. And Faye, I hope this helped you with your little dilemma trying to figure out how to do applique with your Cricut. It's so easy, it's so much fun, and I hope you try it.